Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. It's December 11th, 2025. Great to be with all of you today. I'm fired up. My name is Bob Lang, and it's time for our Daily Bites. Bringing this to you every Monday and Thursday, roughly around 8:30, 8:45, talking a little bit about the markets, the Fed, the economy, interest rates, anything else that may move markets. And today, obviously, we're one day past the last Fed meeting of 2025 that came and went yesterday with a monetary policy decision change. The Fed cut interest rates to 3.5% on the Fed funds, and signaling that perhaps the next rate cut is going to be quite a bit further down the road. I think the market is pricing in the next best odds for a rate cut in April, which would be 3 meetings out. We have another meeting in January. At the end of January, one in March, and then the next one after that is in April. That will be Chair Powell's last meeting as the chairman. His term is up in May, and I don't think that he will be there for that May meeting. President Trump has not yet decided who will replace him, but there are 3 or 4 candidates out there that are very capable to replace him in May with the rest of the committee. So yesterday, what did they do? They came in and discussed monetary policy, probably a very contentious meeting. And at the end of the day, they voted for a rate cut to bring the rates down on the Fed funds. Notice that the 2-year yield went down as well too, but it's coming right back up. We'll see how that does. They basically use that as a guide for monetary policy. They're sort of basically in line with the 2-year yield right now. Let's take a look at that 2-year yield. If you hold on for a second here, let's bring that out over here. Here we go. So notice over here the 2-year yield 3.55, just about in line with the Fed funds, or the Fed funds is just about in line with the 2-year yield 3.55. So we're right there. The Fed statement did say that the economy is strong, and they also said that inflation is still remaining sticky, and the labor market is starting to weaken a little bit. So they had to really lean on that particular issue in order to justify a rate cut yesterday, because inflation still remains a little bit sticky. And even the 2-year yield is telling you that, right? 3.55. We did go down below 3.4 for the amount of time that takes to drink a cup of coffee, and back in October, and we bounced right back up again. So we're kind of in this range between 3.4 and 3.65 on the 2-year yield. So given that rates went down, and the market at the time yesterday was looking for no rate cut in January and maybe a rate cut in March, it's not a surprise today that we see the futures are down off of yesterday's sharp rally. We're down about 27 handles, well off the lows of the overnight. The overnight, I think we were down about 72 handles, which is about 1.2% on the S&P 500. Dow Industrials actually, it says -9, but with fair value, it's actually going to open up if we stick right here at the end of the pre-market session. NASDAQ down quite a bit, and you can thank Oracle for that one. Oracle's down about 20-something%. It's bringing down several of the big tech names along with it, and it's a huge weighting in the NASDAQ. It's a huge weighting in the S&P 500. So this is why we have a down move in that index right there. So the Oracle, of course, is not in the Dow Industrials. That's why that index is up a little bit this morning. Volatility remaining a little bit muted over here. We have the VIX only up about 17 cents here. The VIX futures up about the same amount. Next week is a big week, of course, for options. Options expiration is on Friday. It's a triple witching options expiration on the 19th. We'll have a lot of volume. We'll have a lot of options expiring. So we'll see some of that positioning happen today and tomorrow outside of that. Now, one thing also you might want to keep in mind before the end of the year, we do have the Santa Claus rally period, which starts on Christmas Eve and ends on the second trading day of January. It's a 7-day trading period. One thing you might want to keep in mind is that there are a lot of funds, a lot of mutual funds, hedge funds, and so forth that do a lot of repositioning or reallocation at the end of the year, right? So when they decide, when their committees decide, okay, we got to hold more cash, we got to hold more bonds, we got to hold more stocks, whatever. We'll see lots of large numbers coming out with what they call stock to buy. And stock to buy means basically there is demand for stocks out there. So, for example, a few years ago, there was about a hundred, I want to say 2019, 2020, there was about $150 billion of stocks to buy by the end of the year. That was after Christmas. The market had gone down quite sharply the day before on Christmas Eve, but once we opened back up after Christmas Day, there was a lot of stock out there to buy, and the markets rallied sharply into the end of the year. So it ended up actually being a very positive Santa Claus rally period. So remember something, Santa Claus rally is just a period of time. It's not necessarily a guaranteed a rally, but historically speaking, when Yale Hirsch, my good friend Jeff Hirsch's dad, who Yale passed away a couple of years ago, when he put all this data together, he realized that this is a period where people are very bullish and people want to buy stocks at the end of the year into the new year. So it's about 72 to 75% probability or historical that we've seen the markets rise during that 7-day period. Remember something, it starts Christmas Eve, it ends on the second trading day of the year. I think that would be the 4th or 5th of January. So pay attention to that, okay? Pay attention to what's happening in the markets here. Pay attention to some of these anecdotes. Some of them work, some of them don't always work, but keep in mind that there are a lot of people who use these anecdotes to trade with and to invest with. So if there's some opportunity there during that 7-day period, then fine. I think you're going to hear a lot of it in the media, especially in the first couple of days. If it's not working, you see a lot of people whining and belly aching and complaining about it. Not me. I mean, because we've seen periods where the first 5 days have been horrible and made up for it the last 2 trading days of the Santa Claus rally, and we ended up positive. So again, you play the odds, you play the probabilities. 72 to 75%. That's better than that's about 3 out of 4 times it's going to be up. I like those odds. I like those probabilities. Hopefully you do as well too. So anyway, earnings this morning were real good out of Ciena. We have some of that. We bought some of that in the chat room. Stock closed at 226. It's up about $15, $15 to $16 right now. I'm looking forward to this stock doing much more. We bought some 210 and 220 calls earlier in the week and late last week, so those should be doing well. These are some of the things you get in the chat room, right? You get some ideas, not just from me, but from other people as well. So if you're not in the chat room, make it a goal of yourself to come on in. It's not very expensive at all, and it's a great place for you to not only trade some ideas, but also learn about options trading and about technical analysis and about other things. Look, people in the chat room have been all over silver, okay, to the upside since it was in the late high 30s, early 40s. It's at 62 right now. I can't emphasize how important it is that people in our chat room are on top of it every single day. They're paying attention to what's going on. They're managing their risk properly. They're taking protection when they need to, raising cash, taking profits when they're available there. It's just the same old drill every single day, and we talk about it. I remind everybody to start taking profits every single day, 2 to 3 times a day, multiple times, because sometimes we forget. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to book profits, and we're supposed to take money off the table and get ready for the next trade, get ready for the next opportunity. So this is a good chance for you guys all to join up in the chat room. If you're already an existing member, there's going to be a huge opportunity for you to either upgrade or renew your subscription with some extra time and a good price for that as well too. So that's coming out on the 15th, on Monday. So thanks for spending a little bit of time with me today. We're going to have a really fun trading day today here and tomorrow. Wishing you guys all a good trade on into front of this weekend. Oh, and by the way, just as a reminder, a little heads up here, our LEAPS webinar is going to be in January 21st. It's in about 5 weeks. Looking forward to that. It's one of our most popular webinar of the year. I'm already working on scheduling some webinars in 2026. And what we're going to do is we're going to do things a little bit differently this year. What we did in the past is bringing some guests on with me. So I'm going to have some guests like Larry Tentarelli, Todd Gordon, and a few others like that. So it's going to be really a fun year in 2026. Hopefully we have some of the same results as we've had in 2025. Our LEAPS product, first year of the LEAPS product, up 107% in 2025. Just outstanding. So everybody's been in the service basically from the start in February is making money. That's what it's all about, right? So we've got to make money in the markets, but we also have to be smart about it. We have to learn a little bit about it. A lot of people who didn't really understand how LEAPS work, but they figured it out this year, and they learned, they watched what was going on, and they participated in some trades, and they're making some money. So, and in the swing service, up 49% in 2025. It's just unheard of. We're more than triple what the S&P 500 is up. And our spread trader service, which is run by Sam, up about 17% so far, in line or slightly better than the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. I can't be more proud of what Sam is doing. He's doing an amazing job running the spread trader service. He's outstanding at what he does and teaching what he does. We do webinars once a month, each of us. We stagger our webinars, teaching about what we're doing in the service and helping others learn, getting up to speed. All right, that's going to be it, everyone. Also, as a reminder, tomorrow starts the 12 days of Christmas, so 12 days of options trading. So let me show you what that's all about here. 12 days of trading, that's what we call it. So that's this right over here. You're going to get an email, or if you go to this website here, go to the website explosiveoptions.net. Tomorrow, this link will be up, and you'll be able to get all the different days of trading. This is day one, and we'll talk about different things to teach you a little bit more about options trading and the way we view things as well too. So I'm looking forward to hearing some of your feedback on this. And again, have a great day. Have a wonderful trading day. Appreciate all of you spending a little bit of time with me. We'll be back on Monday, December 15th, to talk a little bit about what might have happened over the weekend, these last couple of trading days at the end of the week, and much, much more. So thanks again. I'll see you guys all in the chat room if you're there, and enjoy a little bit more Manfred Man. Thanks, guys.
Told me I got what it takes. She said I'll turn you on, son, into something strong, with a song with the funky break. And go-kart Mozart was checking out the weather chart to see if it was safe outside. And little early birdie came by in his skirt, whirly, and asked me if I needed a ride.